I wrote an email Thursday uh, telling a little bit of my story of how I started in copywriting and asking other people to share with me their stories. And the amount of replies we got was staggering. It's always amazing. And man, it's just so cool to sit and read dozens and dozens of replies, people going deep and talking about their story. Because, it's fascinating to me that we all ended up here, isn't it? Like everybody who's on this call right now, we all have a unique story about how we ended up in this world of direct response marketing, of copywriting, right? Like, no two stories would be exactly alike, right? You don't go, oh, well, I graduated from college and my natural next step was to become a copywriter. Like, that doesn't happen, right? Some crazy thing, probably a love of writing, this glimmer of hope that you could not have to be a part of the workforce, right? And be independent and call your own shots. These are the things that the common DNA factors that we have, but how we ended up here, who told you about copywriting? Like, who was the first person to mention, you love to write, you're good at writing. I bet you would like copywriting. You should check it out. Well, what the hell is that? That little moment, right? I read so many cool stories, like dude who was he was into some information management position at his company. His boss knew that he loved to write. They needed the website rewritten, and he came to dude and said, "Hey, I know you love to write. We need our website rewritten. Do you want to do it? I'll give you cash on the side to do it." And he's like, well, that sounds good. Writing, getting paid. He didn't know what copywriting was. Had never heard of it. So totally dove in head first, started reading all the books he could about copywriting, and, wrote that site and got paid. He said 200 pounds for it. And this was smart, I thought. Figured if he paid me 200 pounds to do something I love, that means that everybody else he inquired, like professionals, were trying to charge, a lot more than that, probably 2,000 pounds. And so, that means there's good money in this. And so I want to pursue this. And that's how he came to becoming a freelance copywriter, right? And it was similar for me when I started out, and what it made me think of reading all these stories and where people get stuck is having a purpose. What are you writing for, man? Like, we can only practice so much, especially like alone at the kitchen table or trying to grab free time wherever you get it. I was talking to Annie Bay Gal in one of these back and forths, and she was talking about that. Like, she's so excited, on fire for copywriting and blog writing and everything. She's like, every spare minute she gets, she sits down and she writes. It's her passion. And she's tired of bagels. And so but what is the purpose, right? You can only practice so long. You can only hand copy so long. You can only guess if what you're doing is effective for so long. And the most purposeful thing you can have when it comes to writing for a reason is thinking about getting some client work. That's what we all want. If we fall in love with copywriting, the next thought is, how can I get paid for this? Can this be my living? And so, like, in case of, say, like Mike Lucas, we've talked about this on some podcasts. It just kind of happened to him, right? He was blogging about something he was passionate about, which is oddly enough the Cleveland Browns. I don't know. The guy's not fully right, but he was, I can't even look at the comments right now because I know he's going off. He was writing about the Cleveland Browns all the time because he loves pain. And people noticed, and they came to him and said, "Hey, dig your writing. We want more stuff about the Browns because we're weird too. We'll pay you to do it." And so, wow. Never even thought of that. Now he's got a purpose to write about the Browns, sadly enough. And so Um, what is the purpose? How does that spark happen? And that's what Escape Velocity is about. So, the course is not, hey, here's how to get clients only, like, here's how to do cold outreach. Here's how to blah, 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 blah. It's not just about selling the product. It's about building up to a point where you are confident to go sell the product, right? And that begins with writing with a purpose. The purpose is to sell your work, to sell yourself as somebody with money skills, who should be in demand, who should call the shots in their own life and their own business. What is the process to that? Where does that begin and end so that you can actually reach that escape velocity, get liftoff in your career, and then start to create what we call good problems, right? Once you prove the model and start working, and you can do that over and over, that's a really critical place right there. That's where you'll get stuck if you're not careful. You get escape velocity, you can get paid, you're getting referrals, you're getting repeat customers, you're working, you got some steady flow going, and that's where it gets super dangerous if you don't have a plan for how to raise your fees, how to find better clients, right? Don't get stuck in prove the model phase. I've seen people stay for years stuck at the same prices. They're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually getting paid for this. I just want to not stop getting paid for this. And they don't advance. Escape velocity is all about having a plan to get to the point where you have the skills that are worth money. People can clearly see that. They're happy to engage you on that level. And then from there, what do you do to get to the next level? And that's transitions into Real Free Life, RFL, and other things. But escape velocity, phase 0 through 3.